Alright, I have started the stream.
Yay, we're casting.
Yep. I'll probably cut out most of this from
Okay.
YouTube, so, because, I don't know, there's not really much to talk about at this point.
Well, we got some bands, which is pretty exciting. These are really fast bands.
I think they already did pick and ban, and then they remade.
Oh, okay. Do we know if these are the actual bands, or are they just going as fast as possible?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I'm guessing Belkaz wasn't first band, but maybe. Well, notable band is Kale, because Sephasmar plays a lot of Kale.
These are probably the actual bands, because
Yeah.
they just ban, like, all the A's.
Right, that's true.
I should check that the stream is actually on.
I can look.
Okay. There might be a delay, so it might not look like it's on yet.
Oh, so your title still says stream testing, so you might want to check.
Yeah, I
Here's
can
that.
fix that.
It looks like it's background. Or wait, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, no, it still does. Yeah, okay.
Sun's out.
Yep, your stream's up.
Challenge
You're good.
issued.
New Copper Tone Sport AccuSpray. Designed to help you
Okay,
spray where you want,
so yeah,
not
so
where you
I
don't.
played against going Navdeep like a week or two ago. Pretty much running this exact lineup, or very close.
Oh, you mean in a scrim?
No, I was just playing with some friends in ranked, and we ran into them.
Oh, okay. That's
So
kind of funny.
so pretty much, Sephasmar is like hands down their best player, and they're throwing all their eggs in the Sephasmar basket.
Well, you can do that with Syndra.
Yep, and hence the Yorick pick 'em up top.
What do you think he's going to build on York?
So I believe he went Manamune into tanky items. He was very squishy early game. I was laning against him, in fact, and that did not go so well for him early because he was building super squish, and we had ganks. But he transitioned into a tankier build mid game where he was actually quite a pest.
I have no idea about the top matchups, so why don't you talk about that for now, and then I'll talk about some of the other stuff.
Okay, so Aurelia versus Yorick is, I think, an interesting matchup. Yorick provides an interesting sustain opportunity for Aurelia because she can just blade surge between all of his creeps with W active to get some health back at the cost of like a decent amount of mana. Also, she can heal with her ult off the creeps. I don't think she has necessarily the worst matchup against Yorick. That said, like Yorick is just the most annoying champion ever.
Super, yeah. I would imagine that Aurelia can really start to make stuff happen when the Triforce finishes.
Yeah, definitely. And even early, like Yorick, once he gets all three skills going, is when he's really scary. Aurelia could probably win some trades first cut, like level 1, level 2, because Yorick's passive, as many people might not know, because no one really plays much anymore, reduces all damage by 5%, I believe, for each minion he has active. So when he has all three skills up, he's got 50% damage reduction, which is pretty significant.
Yep. And then on the other side, I believe we're seeing Taffy Guy with the Gragas support, and it's going to be Tomato Orange with Lux mid. So
yeah, so
Taffy's Gragas is one of his champs that he really likes to play. So I played a support, didn't like it too much, but it has some potential, and I mostly just got really, really annoyed because of the way W works, because you're drinking out of your barrel, and it's a really good ability because it gives you max HP damage on your next auto, but it's really annoying to use because you can't cast your other abilities while you're drinking out of your barrel, and I think I just mostly went on tilt when I first tried him because it was like, I wasn't expecting that mechanic.
Gotcha. Yeah, Taffy Guy's been playing support Gragas, I think, since before the remake, so he's pretty familiar with that champion, right?
Yep, it's almost a different champion now, though.
That's true. But yeah, we got the battle of the fat bearded men on bot.
Yeah, it's probably a reasonable pick into Braum. Although Braum is just really hard to trade into because Riot made him OP, and then they nerfed all his damage instead of his protection. And so his lanes are pretty boring now unless you get really early stun procs at level 1.
Yeah, but I mean, actually, Gragas probably circumvents a large portion of that, right? Because he doesn't have those targeted abilities that Brahm's Shield can block.
Brahm's Shield will still reduce damage from Body Slam and Barrel, unless the Barrel explodes behind Braum.
So if the Braum gets hit at all by the Barrel, then he takes the damage from it?
So it's a little bit weird. So if it will still be AoE, so Braum doesn't absorb the Barrel explosion. But if Braum is standing, if his shield is between him and the middle of the AoE, then he'll still get the damage reduction.
Interesting.
So you need to toss it like behind Braum and explode it.
It will be interesting to see if Tappy Guy 1 knows that and 2 executes on it, because that seems like a very niche interaction.
Yeah, I mean, you probably aren't going to use the Braum Shield just to block the Gragas Q. You're probably going to use it more to try and block Lucian follow-up.
That's true.
That's really what makes Braum lane strong early, is if you can't focus Braum because he just puts up his shield. And if you try and focus the AD carry, well, you end up focusing Braum because of the shield. So you mostly just have to poke him out, and it's really hard to do all-ins.
Gotcha. So we don't know what order they picked, but I have to guess that they probably took Braum early, as I'm assuming it'd be a great counter pick to Syndra. Just pop that shield and just block her hold.
I don't know how that interaction works, actually.
I think it just blocks.
I would imagine it blocks the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So, well, either it blocks the whole thing or it blocks the first hit and vastly reduces the damage to the rest. Either way, it's going to be good.
It won't block. It won't block the whole thing. It'll block the first hit, but I believe he'll take the reduced damage from the rest.
Yeah. So mid's probably going to be our feature matchup, right? Because we have their 2 highest rated players playing mid.
It'll be very interesting to see if Tomato just tries to farm from a distance, or if he actually gets some good harass in early. Alright, so welcome to Summoner's Rift. I have to turn on the overlay.
Yeah, there you go. So you'll notice right away that Aurelia's waiting in base without items, but yeah, it looks like we might be having some problems. But so during this pause, we could look at the items. Nothing too exciting except for Yorick's items. He went Flask, Health Potion, and Mana Potion. So he is planning on casting as many spells as possible in that lane.
Yep, and he's got that teleport, so he'll be able to recharge that Flask quite a bit.
Yep. So
the defensive teleport's now on the 240-second cooldown instead of 200-second cooldown, because Riot actually figured out that they don't want the most boring lanes possible.
Pretty much.
Alright, let me line up these champion portraits before I forget completely.
Yeah, so honestly, I think that Dorn's Blade start on Aurelia is a really aggressive start.
Oh, and here we go.
Oh.
Braum passive procced on somebody. And yep, that's what you do with Braum. You just look for that proc, and once it hits, it's a very large slow, so it's almost not worth burning any summoners to get out.
Yeah, possibly one of the most overpowered champions at level 1, right? He can stun everyone on the team.
He's pretty good at level 1. You're never actually going to get off a stun. While that was happening, Lux took the opportunity to drop a ward at their red so they can see where they start.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jarvan got stunned there.
And this is actually pretty decent warding at level 1 from both teams.
Minions have spawned.
Sorry, apologies to the viewers, it's going to take me a long time to get used to adjusting the camera and remembering whether it's undirected or not, so I will hopefully improve as the game continues. This is our first time casting. This is Yarias.
And Ravenite.
Yep, just typical spread.
Yeah, Aurelia sort of just stood there and then ran back in and was running out. Be interesting to see if either of our top laners miss some CS.
We got a trade going on in the bottom lane. They proc that stun again, but Gragas took E at level 1, so he was able to mostly get out, and he'll be able to sustain back up because of his passive.
Yeah, so I'm really looking for this Aurelia to be aggressive at levels 1 and 2, which is exactly what you're seeing here. Yorick goes in, stun, get a couple autos, and she wins that trade.
Yep, those waves are building up quite a bit.
Interestingly, Yorick took his slow at level 1, which is possibly his least useful skill in lane if he's not trying to get kills. Or if he's not trying to chase people. Because it does the least amount of damage. And I think also doesn't have a strong ghoul like Q does.
Yep, there's quite a bit of trading going on mid, and we got a gank coming in from Lee Sin here, so...
Oh yeah.
This works out. He landed the Q.
Looks like it might be a dead Lux.
Oh.
No.
Flash and heal. Can he
Flash
get there?
ignite? No.
Nope.
No. Flash through Q.
And we have Tomato Orange staying in this lane, so...
I'd have to think that if Lee Sin had used his flash there, he might have gotten a kill.
Yep. Back up top, York starting to win these trades.
Yep.
Mostly probably because of all the sustain he has. Although actually he hasn't used any flask charges yet.
Yes, but he hasn't used the mana potion. I mean, the resource we're really going to be looking for on this Yorick is his mana. Also, Aurelia did not aggressively trade at low levels in order to win on the level game. So you'll notice that she just hit level 3 right before Yorick hit level 4, which is really important because she didn't pick her sustain skill until level 3.
Nope, and that's kill mid. Yep, stayed around, and Lee Sin, very good decision-making Lee Sin there. He was basically just trying to find Jarvan so that Syndra could pressure Lux under tower.
That's smart.
We'll have to see where the wards start appearing on the map now, because this is about that time where everybody just has a trinket and they have all just expired.
So I think we're starting to see where this Thorn's Blade start from Aurelia may have been a bit chancy. Yorick has some all-in potential once he gets some mana back from his flask, and Aurelia's not looking that hot right now. On the other hand, she does have the benefit of Equilibrium Strike being great in trades when you're down in health. And we're looking at a gank on top lane.
We are indeed.
Oh, Yorick with a good flash on the Jarvan Q, but the shield slows him anyway. They might have this kill.
Flash from Aurelia. Oh, not quite. He got some sustain off that last ghoul.
Yeah, because that ghoul...
He'll just teleport right back to lane, presumably.
Yep, so honestly, he burned a flash, Aurelia burned a flash, and Yorick's the one that's going to be more
coming in
aggressive
for another
lane.
gank mid after seeing the jungler top. Syndra missed the stun, but they're still going to get some chunk damage.
Yep, and yeah, Lux is not having a good time over here.
Nope, and Lux's summoners are both down, so this is going to be a struggle mid. And bottom, we got some trading going on as well.
Yeah, so like a lot of summoners down across the map. I think top lane, the summoner being down is an advantage to Yorick. What do you think about mid lane?
Syndra, once she hits 6, and she's going to hit 6 first, is going to have way better all-in potential just because of their really long-range stun, I feel. But we'll have to see if Jarvan can make anything happen, because both of those champions are not very mobile. Lux and Syndra. Alright, this Lee Sin is everywhere on the map.
Yeah, this Lee Sin's looking like the MVP on this team right now. Certainly a kill there.
Last Q, that'll do it.
Which is really too bad, because I was just about to point out that Aurelia is actually winning on CS against Yorick, which is very surprising. I have a feeling Yorick's succumbing to what I like to call Kennen syndrome, where he focuses more on harass than on just last hitting. Remember, folks, money wins games. Not harass.
Does indeed. Both junglers now have the same idea in this mid lane. But it looks like Draven has changed his mind.
Yeah, but he's gonna get spotted out by that nice aggressive ward that purple team has. So they're gonna know exactly what he's doing.
Yep, I'm surprised Lee Sin must not remember that Banana Plum's blue buff is up right now, because he did see Jarvan go to that bottom side. It would have been a pretty easy walk over to the enemy blue, especially with Syndra at level 6.
Yeah,
and
that's
Lux
true.
almost out of mana.
But we'll see if maybe he goes there now, because he just hit level 6 off that red buff, and that's going to put him in a very, very strong position to be aggressive.
He may also just want to go back and buy, because he has 2 kills and quite a bit of gold in the bank.
Very true.
Right,
Yeah, now we're
blue
seeing
call.
some things over there.
And this will go bad for a Lux with no mana.
Lux does get out with a...
Yeah, the summoners just came back up.
Yeah, that flash, oof.
Jarvan had to take the blue with his smite, so Lux is going to struggle in this mid lane once Syndra gets her blue.
What do you think she's going to buy here?
Chalice? Does she have enough for Chalice? She does. Not quite. Oh no, okay. They reduced the cost of Chalice by 40 from what it used to.
Okay, what was it previously?
I thought it was 880?
Yeah, she had about 900, I think. So
Oh, okay.
maybe she had just gotten that while she was backing.
Alright, I'm gonna give a shot at leaving the camera on directed unless something's happening, and then I will try and remember to put it on not directed, and then remember to put it back on directed, so... Because manual camera control... Oh, I should be using the arrow keys too. We're learning, folks.
Yeah, so looking back at top lane, you'll notice that Aurelia has been pushing this lane really hard and actually has a level advantage over Yorick right now.
We're gonna have a 4-man gank coming at bottom here, and one at top. Alright.
Yep.
The top one's happening first. Lee Sin uses the ward jump.
Yep.
Waits patiently for his Q. And that chase, you're not getting away from a Yorick and a Lee Sin.
Yeah, really, honestly, his only real choice there would have been to just try and all-in Yorick or Lee Sin to try and get a trade kill. But with that Yorick ghost, he's going to be really tanky when he has 4 minions up.
Jarvan coming in at mid now. This game has been really active with the junglers. And that will probably be a kill.
Yeah, you'll notice Syndra not even wasting her flash there.
Indeed.
Might as well just be followed up by that Jarvan ult.
Lux still without a blue buff though, so...
And you can really see how hurting she is on CS. And now Yorick really has that advantage after that kill on Aurelia.
And this bottom lane has been mostly passive, as I've come to find. After the Braum nerfs, it's pretty hard to be aggressive with Braum unless a gank is coming. So he has very, very good mid-game dragon and jungle control though.
So 80 carry items changed pretty recently. What item builds do you think we're going to be seeing here on these 280 carries?
It looks like they're both rushing Infinity Edge, but BF Sword builds into almost everything now, so it's a little bit hard to tell. But I wouldn't imagine they would be getting Bloodthirster here.
I mean, I have been seeing some Blade of the Rune King, Yomu's Ghostblade builds, but I think we could rule that out right now.
I think we can indeed.
Oh, and here's
It's like
our
both of these. Yep.
But knocks them away with the barrel. The other side, Aurelia just does a quick trade. I'm wondering if Aurelia's forgotten about the Yorick
Jarvan
ult.
walked right past that pink ward.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things about Season 4. You gotta walk through the brushes just to check them for wards. Even if you don't take the time to clear them. It's good to know that they're there so that you can avoid them.
You also definitely want to be attack moving through there, so you don't even have to like notice the little blip on your mini map.
Yeah, junglers often watching the lanes instead of where they're pathing. Nice stun by Syndra to keep Jarvan away.
Yes, there we go. So right there in bot, we had a very advantageous trade for blue team because Gragas and Braum were duking out on the side, and Lucian was able to put some good damage on Jinx off to the other side where Braum couldn't block it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch this bottom lane as Lee Sin's trying to set up for a lane gank.
Yep.
That was a little weird move by Braum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, that's some unfortunate shield positioning there for Braum. But looks like he might get out. Oh,
Jarvan's coming in. Aggressive. Flash Cataclysm. And a teleport coming in.
Are we gonna see a follow-up?
Syndra's also coming down. This could actually turn quite a bit. Lux here as well. Oh, Lee Sin barely tags with the Q.
I'm looking for Aurelia to either get this tower or at least get a lot of damage on it here, and she's pushing the wave super hard.
Yeah, we'll see if they end up trading this for Dragon.
Gragas' ult is back up, so the play potential for... Ooh, that was a great bind right there.
Good zoning chompers as well. I think they will be able to get this Dragon. They may be able to delay the recalls enough so that Aurelia can take that top tower. Lux had a flash there again. A little bit scared to follow up.
Yeah, Aurelia's got this top tower in the bag.
Yep, that'll go down pretty quickly now.
Yeah. The one thing you really
I'm not actually sure whether towers or dragons early are better now. I think Riot's actually made it so that they're pretty even in the early game, and then dragons get much better as the game goes on. They've been slowly increasing the gold of dragon back to its old state.
So something purple has to worry about here is Yorick right there teleported across the map, and while he won the early game against Aurelia is starting to come into her power spike, and if they let her get back into the game, then the fact that Yorick won lane early is not really even going to matter.
Yeah, and Aurelia just basically got 2 free waves up top while Yorick teleported down to the bottom lane to get a couple kills in Dragon.
Yeah, if not more, and he got the tower.
I'm surprised that Braum hasn't done a little bit more roaming, but maybe it's because Jinx is not the most mobile and Gragas Lucian is a pretty strong all-in, so he may just feel like he needs to sit in that bottom lane and help Jinx farm up.
I think if Braum were to leave there, we'd have a Jinx kebab pretty quickly.
That pink ward is giving so much information in that river. It spotted Jarvan moving around the map constantly.
I'm really interested by this defensive pink ward back in the brush by purple wraith though. What do you think the point of that
doesn't land the Q? Probably just for value would be my guess. They want to see Jarvan maybe trying to come over the wraith wall into mid. And it's very likely to stay up for quite a long time into this game.
Yeah, so you asked about Yorick items in the beginning of the game. You'll notice that he's got a Tear, a Sheen, and a Ninja Tabby. So he's looking to be very aggressive here and not tanky.
We'll see how that works out when Aurelia finishes Triforce.
The last thing Aurelia wants to do here is trade, right? Because Yorick's a trade master. He has tons of mana, he just heals back up. What she really wants to do is she wants to be all-inning him.
Looks like we're going to get a pink ward cleared in the bot side. And with that ward down, Banana Plum really doesn't have much coverage on their side of the jungle, so I would imagine we're gonna watch Lee Sin try and make some plays on the bot side of the map or maybe in mid.
Yeah, so we're really starting to see this skill and matchup knowledge differential in mid lane. Lux being down a healthy 35 CS.
Yeah, I mean some of that was from missing the blue buff for one rotation.
Yep.
And Lee Sin has really just been all over mid. There we go, the junglers run into each other.
But to put that in perspective, it's something like 600 golds. That's like 2 kills.
Oh yes, it's definitely a significant CS difference. And these are both fairly dependent on blue buff for mid laners. You can get by without, but if the other person has blue and they can just repeatedly shove you in the tower, you're going to be missing some CS.
So what do you think we're going to see Braum building here? What sort of item build?
He's picking up a chain vest, so
Yeah,
I imagine he's just trying to get to Randuin's. But it could also be a Glacial Shroud for some additional CDR.
Okay.
And finish up with a Frozen Heart.
While we're talking about that, Syndra
Frozen Heart would be pretty good against Aurelia, so that could be what he's thinking.
Randomans would also be quite good in that situation, I think.
They would both be fine items. Lee Sin's and Jarvan have a little trade. They both blew their ults, so... And the Jinx Rocket coming up. Oh, it does snag Jarvan, so that was a really nice shot, but he has about 300 HP left.
Very smart on the part of Jarvan there to wait for Lee Sin to pop the second part of his cube before Flag and Dragon out of that.
Indeed. And just Bugs clears waves all day.
Yep, what's your cooldown reduction at? She actually only has 10% right now? So probably 15 to 20 depending on runes and mastery.
Trade going on in top lane, and Aurelia's pretty much just got that in the bag.
Yeah, but you see Yorick's Ghost hounding at him, taking a bunch of damage.
Yorick had to back up mostly because of the creep wave.
Yeah, watch his health go up as he clears this wave.
Yep, sustain all day.
But that's not necessarily the best thing in the world for him, because once he has more health than Aurelia, she gets a stun.
Finally, that pink ward in the river is gone. But now there's one at Dragon, which is up, so we'll have to see how the teams decide to contest the next Dragon.
I think we've yet to see Yorick's ult this game.
I don't believe he did use it in that first bottom skirmish.
Yeah, like I'd like to see him using it more, even in these duels, because it's not really a very high impact ult this early in the game, and it could really win some trades and force Aurelia out of lane. A lot of people think, oh, it's just there for the revive, but then they forget the fact that he's getting a 60% damage ghost for 10 seconds and an extra 5% damage reduction in damage.
Blue side starting to do some significant chip damage to that bottom tower. Looks like we're going to have another fight. Gragas ult to disengage. Yeah, it's too bad there's a Twitch stream delay, otherwise you could actually see where the camera was. Because there's definitely been some parts where we've been desynced, but looks like that chip damage might be enough for going Navdeep to take this dragon. They have full vision control. But it'll be a blind Lux laser. Well, they have vision with the flag.
Yep.
So he's setting it up.
Ooh, a little bit
late. Yep. And Yorick burned his teleport.
Lee Sin's Smite's doing 150 more damage than Lux Laser. It's before magic resist,
so Aurelia actually just walked down, and Yorick had to use the teleport to a ward, so...
Yeah.
Good rotation from blue side. Get some damage on this mid tower while... going Navdeep, taking their own blue buff. It looks like they might actually get it. Not quite, but it's at basically the health where you can just walk up and tank it at some later point. Or try and set up a sneaky dive, where someone thinks the turret's there to protect them, but it really isn't. I would have to imagine Aurelia is going to pick up her Triforce now.
Ah, so Braum just picked up his face to the mountain.
Okay. No, he didn't.
Ooh, he needs for a sec. I swear.
Okay. That's interesting then.
I'm very confused.
Maybe it was a graphical glitch.
It's possible. Let's see how much money he has. Yeah, because he oh, you know what? I think he got it and then realized he'd rather have Merc Treads.
That is quite possible. There's if he's gonna be in the front line, Merc Treads will definitely help him eat up some of the.
How Lux Laser works with Plum's shield?
I believe it works the same way as AoE abilities, so it will not interrupt the. It will not intercept the laser.
But it will reduce the damage.
But it will reduce the damage if he's facing the right direction. Same thing with Vel'Koz's ultimate, although that's a little bit different because it's a dot. So I'll have to see how this top lane works out. It looks like Yorick is just scared to go anywhere near the creeps.
Yeah, Aurelia is really, like, as I said, Yorick left that lane for a while. Aurelia's back in the game. Now up there with the highest CSs in the game. Let's see if he can turn his advantage there into an advantage across the map, because blue team really needs some help now that they're down 4k gold here.
Indeed. Yep, and there we go. As soon as Lee Sin left, Aurelia just goes in. Does have a ward in the river, so
I really would like to see him be more aggressive.
and you get your wish.
Oh, here we go, bot. There's one.
Down, and the Ravenite locks up Brown.
I think that might be one of my favorite things in the game now.
Lee Sin looking for a tower dive in this mid action non-stop.
Yep, but an unfortunate kick.
Well, I think he still had the Q procced on Lux, so he was maybe thinking about doing the RQ combo for the extra execute damage, and then decided a little bit better of it.
Yeah, I think he really wanted that ult to be into the
Syndra
wall,
finishes
though.
it off anyway. Meanwhile, in bot lane, they take the tower. I'm actually gonna really quickly rewind, just get that fight bot lane.
Yeah, that sounds like
I
a good idea,
totally
because
missed.
we're now within 1.7k, right?
Indeed. So Jarvan came in from lane. The wave is pushing up. Taffy guy flash E ult on the Gragas to set the Jarvan up. So really good job to the support Gragas. One summoner, definitely worth a double kill and a bunch of towers. Alright, jumping back to live.
Yeah, I have to say that bot lane is doing quite a good job for Banana Plum.
So yeah, both of these ADCs, i.e. Zeal, it just is, it delays your really early game, but the early game is mostly passive, so you get a huge power spike right about now when you finish that Infinity Edge and you get a bit of attack speed and crit. Banana Plum picks up that mid tower. That was a couple autos from death. There's auto ward in the river. Looks like they're gonna try and re-siege this mid lane.
Yeah, and we got Aurelia on the side here. Let's see if he gets aggressive.
Syndra's got the blue buff again, and Lux does not. So
ooh, Syndra popped without using her ult. This is gonna go for blue team.
Oh shit, I'm not actually at live. Stupid client. Alright, back to live.
Well, back at live, we just saw an 0 for 3. That was a really great pick on that Syndra to just blow her up. She took her out of the fight. I mean, Syndra is a very strong member of that team with all that farm and those 2 kills, and she did nothing.
And they pick up a tower off of that. Always, always, always looking to turn those kills into objectives. That's how you play in organized fives.
Yep, let's see if they try and use that win to get some vision advantage on Baron to set up their next objective.
neither team does Baron incredibly quickly here.
Yeah. If Aurelia were to get a Bork, maybe, but we're not going to see that for a while, if at all.
Could have been doing a little bit of chasing on this Gragas, but he'll be able to get away fine.
Yorick can.
They do have the Dragon Timer down, so Gragas may be looking to get a steal with ult. Nope, just decides to save it for the inevitable team fight. Jarvan going in. Lucian's not in this fight, so this is a little bit of a premature engage.
Yeah,
but
that's a low Lee Sin.
This is a very close team fight.
Yep.
Jarvan gets on Jinx, takes her out.
Syndra, so no matter how her individual fight goes, she's going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, get that nice snare under the tower. Lee Sin's going to start taking
awfully aggressive there.
Pretty close.
Let's see.
That was actually a pretty even team fight, all in all.
Like 7 seconds.
Probably almost out of range at this point.
Yeah.
It's on a pretty low cooldown. Could be worth a blind snipe. Looks like he's just gonna save it.
I guess he figured the 6 CS was probably worth more.
Alright, so this is gonna be very interesting. Both bot and top on blue side are pushing out the waves, so this is always interesting to watch at this point in the game. You really need to do a good job with wave management to make sure that you can actually show up on the map and get grouped together. Looks like Jinx is turning the bot lane around, so just that top lane is going to be pushing up.
Yep. Yeah, so going back a little bit, like we definitely could have. Oh, well, wow. Lucian's doing a lot of damage. Ooh, but an unfortunate direction on that ult.
Yep, misaimed culling, but he has pretty good burst with IE and Static Shiv.
Yeah.
Aurelia's coming down into this mid lane.
Yeah.
And Gragas ult is always up, so we'll see if they can make a play here.
Wow.
Jinx ult comes in a little late.
Yeah, Gragas doesn't take any damage.
And Aurelia does TP back to that top lane to save the tower, so going Navdeep now does have the TP advantage. Yorick doing a little cheeky hide in the bush. Oh, he's got blue buff.
Yeah,
he must have picked that up in the last team fight.
He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. I want to see Aurelia. Aurelia should be going all in on there. They know where mid and jungle are. Aurelia has that fight easy win.
Looks like maybe the team just made a call to rotate into the top lane. So Aurelia was trying to push the wave out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe that baited Yorick to stay long enough that the rest of the team could swing around for him.
Yeah, going Navdeep had some pretty poor vision control over their topside jungle there. And that top wave is pushing in for the last minute, so good fight under this tower. Braum mostly misses, but actually catches Gragas and Aurelia off the tail of the slow.
Yep.
Which apparently Riot thinks is OP because they're going to nerf it to 0.25 seconds from 1.5 seconds.
Wow, that's harsh.
It is pretty good. It's, what is it, 60% slow. So it's pretty significant. The area is pretty huge. Yeah, looks like teams just want to go back and buy. Probably gonna have. They seem to have suddenly realized that Baron is an option.
Yeah. So in the tradition of the old buy a Negatron and a chain vest on bruisers, Aurelia's got a cowl and a warden's mail.
Yep. It's just needs to pick up a little bit of HP now, and those stats will go quite nicely. And again, look at this bottom wave. They're gonna have to have someone clear that. And it might be too late. Although Yorick still has TP, so he should really think about heading down there. Because otherwise that wave is just going to slam into their tower. Probably do half of the tower's damage, or HP.
Very true.
Yep, Yorick's TPing back, or basing now.
Yeah, so Yorick has his mana now. Worth noting.
Yep. And he also has the Iceborne Gauntlet. I always call it Frozen Fist, but
Yep.
Iceborne Gauntlet. What do you think of that build?
I think, honestly, I think it's a little bit more aggressive than I would like.
Jarvan gets Syndra's flash.
Yeah. Ooh,
Tries to flash out. Doesn't quite make it.
Up.
Yorick's CPing in. They finally pick up Syndra. Low on both sides. Tomato Orange takes a couple of rockets to the face, so
Yeah.
perhaps wasn't the best trade. Has no real way to sustain that back.
So as I was saying, I think I want to see Yorick building a bit tankier here. Like Frozen Fist or Iceborne Gauntlet's quite greedy on this team comp. Like they have Syndra and Jinx who do plenty of damage. All he really needs to do is be a tanky monster, and he can build those items later, but I don't think he needs to rush them, and especially against a team that's so attack speed dependent as Lucian Aurelia, I really want to see a Frozen Heart.
Looks like both teams know Dragon is up again. But we'll have to see how this vision control works out, because going Navdeep had pretty good vision in the early game with Lee Sin, but they're starting to let it slip a little bit. They do have a ward in the back of the Baron pit, so they see this going on. We'll see how fast they can get there. Lucian actually uses culling on the Baron, so they're just trying to spike it down as fast as humanly possible, and it looks like they will get it before Lee Sin has time to show up, but we'll see if they make it out.
Syndra steals it. That's some sloppy play.
This is a bad time to fight after the Baron gets stolen, but it looks like they have no choice. From chases you down all day.
Yeah, and just after Banana Plum was looking really good and was looking like they might be able to start closing out the game, they go and crucial Baron throw, and Gold slingshotted back in the other direction.
Alright, let's rewind to that Baron steal. At about half health. We see Syndra coming in. They didn't clear that ward, so they can still see into the pit. And yeah, Syndra just gets it with a Q. Jarvan smited just a touch early.
Yeah, you may want to come back to life because you got an inhibitor turret going down.
Yep.
Purple team is really pushing their advantage with this Baron buff. But Jinx just takes a massive amount of damage and pops.
Lucian and Lux safe in the back line.
Yeah.
Lucian picks up Syndra, so they actually have a chance to turn this around.
And Yorick crucially wastes his ghost on himself.
Aurelia, nope, Grom tags her. Oh, jumps to a minion, gets in there.
There's the Lee Sin.
With Gragas too, they might be able to catch up here.
I'm looking to see if Yorick makes a mistake and drops a slow, because that would give Aurelia the creep she needs to get in.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna get away fine here. We'll see what Banana Plum wants to do here. It looks like they may just swing up and take their red buff. Maybe get some vision control back. Their bot wave is huge again, pushing in. And this time Yorick has no TP, so they just siege this top lane.
Back up. The health disadvantage might not really be favoring them for this push.
Yep, Syndra looked like maybe she was just gonna go clear bot. Nope. Okay, all sides just gonna recall. Time to look at some item pickups here. So Gragas has finished his talisman, and he looks like he's starting to build into that Frozen Heart. We got Death Cap, Void Staff, and Athene's on Lux and Syndra, but Syndra has quite a few more items here. Almost finished the Zonias, so she'll probably be looking to pick that up on her next back.
Yeah, that's going to be a really crucial pickup, because then we're not going to see a repeat of that one fight that turned the game around where she just got popped.
And Lee Sin has managed to go through all of this carnage without dying.
Yeah,
Impressive.
that is impressive. I almost wonder if he's not being aggressive enough, but he's been really getting in there. So
yeah, he's a little bit tankier than you would normally have Lee Sin be at this point in the game. So,
yep.
And I think Banana Plum has been focusing mostly on Jinx and Syndra. Particularly with the Jarvan, they're just looking to dive those two, and then Lee Sin can kind of jump around the edges.
Why do you think we're not seeing the fully upgraded face of the mountain on this Gragas? Seems like it'd be a good item against the burst damage that Syndra presents.
I mean, Talisman is there. Maybe they're just too concerned about this Syndra. Possibly. I'm not sure that Face of the Mountain is actually really going to mitigate that much of Syndra's full combo.
Yep.
And so the extra magic resist might just be better, but big team fight coming on. Jarvan's just been getting in there every team fight, really deep into the back line. Yorick ult down on Jinx, so she revives.
Yeah. She takes down Lucian off of it. This fight's definitely going Lucian's direction.
But it doesn't look like they'll be able to get any objectives off this. They have to walk all the way across map, and the lanes are not pushing in their direction, so...
It's possible they could pick up a dragon off the respawn timers.
It's probably better for them to just get both bot and top pushing slowly, and then to go by, and then set up a siege. They really need to go back and convert some of the gold from those kills into items again.
Yep. So
Jarvan's pretty close to finishing his Randuin's.
Yeah, that's important. Double Randuin's is really going to lock down Jinx in these fights. Would you agree with me that this game has really been dictated by the junglers?
The early game most certainly was.
Right, but even here in the late game, Jarvan's really making some great plays to blow up Sephasmar in multiple fights.
He has been using his ult perfectly in most of these fights, and his team has actually, had the wherewithal to follow up on it. You sometimes see Jarvans that, flash EQ ult somebody, and then their team is half a screen away. But he's been using a really good job, I agree.
So what do you think of these 80 carry item builds? Do you think the 3 offensive items into a defensive item is a good idea for Jinx, or should he have gone for 4 straight up like Lucian has here?
I'm not sure if Jinx is taking that much magic damage. Oh, well.
We have a pause.
We can see how this team fight is going to
yeah, that's
go.
bad. Wow.
Syndra, Flash, yep, QE combo, and there's going to be a W follow-up.
Okay, well, so during this pause, I'm going to go grab some water really quickly.
So we were talking about ADC items. Bloodthirster is actually a reasonable defensive item on this patch. Can block up to 410 damage, so that's more than a Giant's Belt worth of health. It's pretty easy to keep it stacked up at this point in the game. When you just let the ADC clear the waves. He's been doing a pretty good job of staying away from Syndra, so I don't think that the Banshee's Veil is necessarily
Okay, and I'm back.
necessary.
So we're still having some audio technical difficulties.
Yep. I was just talking about the ADC items while you were gone, but I was basically saying I think Lucian's been doing a pretty good job of staying away from Syndra, and so the Bloodthirster does stack up and give you, more than a Giant's Belt worth of health in a shield, so it's not the worst idea here.
Sorry, I put on the wrong headphones. What were you saying?
I'm not going to repeat it. You can watch
Okay.
the VOD.
Good.
Any
plug.
other interesting item choices here to talk about?
I'm really curious to see what Aurelia's next big item is going to be. Is he going to finish that Spectrus Callan or something? Or does he feel like he's lagging on the damage front? He needs to pick up something like a Bork.
He does have quite a bit of gold in the bank, but we will see if the game doesn't just end after this pause resumes.
Yeah, really.
And as I found out, you can't adjust the camera while they're in a pause. Jarvan manages to actually get over the wall, and they probably don't want to waste their time chasing down Gragas. They have the right idea. Get a couple kills, and then just go for that inhibitor.
Yeah, Yorick didn't even use ult, so you could just pop his ult on someone to tank that tower. You could probably end the game right here.
They don't have a wave, but I agree they could probably just end. Jinx does quite a bit of damage to the towers, but we'll see how they manage the tower aggro. Plum was tanking the turret for quite a long time. He makes it out with sliver of health.
Yeah.
Very good job there.
Well, it looks like Gragas is going down. This might be the end of the game.
Looks like it will be indeed.
Yeah.
So congratulations to going Navdeep, winning the first game of this 2-game series. Plum, bad manner ult right at the end.
Yeah. Fun fact for all the viewers out there, you can use the arrow keys to control your camera even in the victory screen. Bet you didn't know that.
Yep. Alright, well, thanks for listening and putting up with us and our horrible casting.
Yeah.
But I had fun. Did you have fun?
I definitely had fun. It was a lot of fun casting, and I'm sure the 8 people watching also really enjoyed it.
Yep. The previous cast I did, which was my first cast, was with Riot Pado, and he was controlling the camera and making me look like a pro because all I had to do was sit there and talk about stuff.
Yeah, it's really easy to sound like you know what you're doing.
Especially when he is doing a phenomenal job casting all the team fights and is super excited about everything. But
yeah, excitement's nice.
All right, thanks to all the viewers, and we will probably be back next week.